Greetings, and good afternoon, Juneteenth family. Welcome to another weekly edition of our Lunch and Learn.
E is exhaling, having an opportunity to breathe, to rest, to refill yourself and rejuvenate yourself, because no one can pour from an empty cup.
As you evolve and become more of yourself, you begin to attract the people that are there for you.
Amen.
So everything you need is in this space.
You have to learn from your mistakes. Once you make a mistake, oops, sit down, recoup, and then start over. And once you do that, you say, I got that.
See, Juneteenth means to me, I would definitely say empowerment and education.
When I experience it, it's like just coming together and, being a part of something bigger than myself, And
A new start, starting a new chapter, opportunity, new beginnings, all of that good stuff.
Greetings, and good afternoon, Juneteenth family. Welcome to another weekly edition of our Lunch and Learn. Today, we are joined by one of our amazing Juneteenth board members, Miss Tinnette Pippi Spann. We'll be here talking about closing is a good business too. Just to give you an idea, we'll be talking about small businesses that may be struggling to stay open and how they may want to consider closing for the health and future of their business. So let's bring Miss Pippi on up. Hey girl, hey.
Hello, how are you?
I'm well. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you. Happy to be here.
All right. So I think how I would love to get this started is if you could just share with the community a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you are up to, and kind of take us up to the point of where you are today, and then we'll dive into our conversation and then start kind of like unpacking why closing is also good business.
Sure thing. So I'm a lot. A whole snack. I like to think of myself as a Jackie of all trades, and don't want to say I'm not a master of none. I have mastered most of the things, and that's one of the things about that saying, that cliche that people aren't aware that sometimes you do master at least one or two of those things that are in your bucket of things to do. I am a business owner. I'm an educator for the Department of Education. I am an adult onset athlete. I'm a mother. I'm a friend. I'm a daughter. I'm charitable person. I run a 501c3 food pantry out of my church. But my love and my passion, and something that has been on the forefront of my brain and my to-do, is to be an entrepreneur, a business owner. And with that came the baby, Miss Spud's Everything Potato No Gravy, that was founded in 2012 of June. I decided I wanted to sell French fries. And this is the best way, not just wanted to sell French fries, I wanted to be an entrepreneur and to do it slowly, nothing grand. I just wanted to test the waters and try my hand at it, see how I would do and what the response would be from the public. I decided to sell French fries, and this was easy for me because it's the one thing that I love. Like, I love potatoes. Okay. I like them fried. I like them baked. I like them sauteed. I like home fries. I like everything about a potato. They're easy. They're versatile. And it was just easy for me. And just wanting to share that with the world, right? How versatile that they can be, how filling and satisfying that they can be, and fun. They're simply a fun food, and that's the thing about me. Anything that I do, I want to have fun doing it, especially if I'm going to put my heart and soul into it. So there we have Miss Buds that started in 2012. I started at a community fair at East New York Farms in Brooklyn, not too far from me. I started with a table and a tent and one fryer. I created my own little storefront and a level of ambiance where I wanted my friends who came to visit, my new friends that I acquired, to stay for a while and enjoy the space, enjoy the food. Don't rush off too fast, and let me know how you're liking things. So that's how I started. And I did that for about 4 years with East New York Farms, a local farmers market in my community. And I would sell out every weekend. So it wasn't that, for me, it wasn't that it was just the easy food. Like, everybody loves French, everybody loves potatoes. That's one of my mottos. But the most important message that was relayed to me was that I had something that was marketable, that I had something that people could enjoy, that I had something that I can make money from, and it grew from there.
Got you. So, also, where I would love for you to also let the community know is where you are today with it, because that's what's going to usher us right into this conversation.
Yeah. So the thing is, I don't want anybody to worry. We are not closed. We are temporarily closed for the season to reassess our next steps, which we are in the process of, just reorganizing, reassessing, working on localities, working on what has worked, what hasn't worked, what we would like to do, how we would like to expand. And that's not something that comes overnight. And I was almost forced into this situation where, as much as I love the food truck business, it wasn't my immediate goal. I was thinking of storefront, wanted to franchise and things like that, but the pandemic happened and it was an opportunity for us. And the opportunity was good. When the governor authorized outdoor eating only, outdoor seating, we killed. We did really, really well because we were able to provide for the community, for our customers in essentially a safe setting outdoors, right? And that kind of grew, but that wasn't my first initial plan. That wasn't my plan. My plan was to get a store. So we kind of fell into the food truck business as a second option. So what happened that led us here, unfortunately, the one thing that I did that I kind of pride myself on not doing from inception was not partnering with someone. I knew that my business could be successful. I can do it on my own, not just by myself, but it's my baby. And I wanted to see it from fruition to its growth, then possibly take on partners. But an old friend came along and offered me an opportunity to expand right then and there without all of the red tape. Fast forward, he had some medical complications and he passed away within 3 months of hearing his diagnosis. So with that, I want to give honor to Larry. He's a good friend, an old friend, somebody that has been in my life for more than 30 years and who loved and believed in me and Miss Spuds and wanted to see us win. That was his only thing. My question was, what do you want from Miss Spuds? Because you know nothing, you don't know anything about business. He's a big guy. All he knows is he likes to eat, and he ate. Okay. But what do you want in return for your investment for Miss Spuds? And he said, I just want to see you win. I just want to see you win. You love what you do. Your customers love what you do. And I just want to see you win. So with that, we took off running. He helped build us up. He was the muscle. Like, some people refer to us as him as the muscle and me as the hustle, because I'm always talking and building and trying to ensure that we have everything that we need, creating connections and networking, all of that. So we were the muscle and the hustle. So unfortunately, when he passed away in November, we had to rethink, because his position, His purpose was valuable for me. When I say the muscle, he did the heavy lifting. He was knowledgeable about the electronics, the mechanics, all the things that I had no knowledge of that was important to run a food truck, literally a restaurant on wheels, right? He had the knowledge that I just didn't have. I learned a lot from him. I was able to manage for a while, but it became too laborious for me, to a place where I ended up injured. A couple of my employees ended up injured. Not major things, but you can kind of foresee what the future was holding for us if we didn't make any changes. So eventually I had to make a decision. I said, you know what, winter is coming. It's normally our slow season. I'm already working majority of the business by myself because finding employees was really difficult, especially to work on a food truck, people that you trust to be in this space with you. I had to make a decision, and I decided, instead of pushing through the winter, which can be very, very difficult when it's super cold on a metal box, right? We have heat, but it's not always sufficient for super cold winters. So I decided to close temporarily, period. Just shut it down. The most important thing was we had to be careful because we still have bills, right? We still had obligations. We still have responsibilities to a number of people. So as we started closing very slowly, okay? And the beautiful thing about closing is not, and this is why I'm happy to have this conversation, because it's important for business owners to know that you have to have a strategy. The same way you have a strategy to open, you have to have a strategy to close. Okay. The last thing you want to do is be beholden to anyone, is to be in debt, is to be stressed out because you weren't able to accommodate or meet a responsibility that you had. So my thing is, I have no debt and I wanted to keep it that way. So the most important thing was to speak with all of my vendors, speak with all of my even my employees, to the companies that we were catering to, inform them that we were closing. So when it comes to the vendors or companies, like your insurance companies, your general liability, the manufacturers, all these things, you want to have a conversation with them to let them know what your situation is. And if you have any outstanding bills, you want to settle that up, because once you close, you want to be able to walk away without any obligation, any responsibility, nothing over your head. And even if you do have something over your head, it's not something that's so crazy you can't resolve. And that's the beauty about closing a business. It doesn't make you a failure at all. It makes you a good business person. Okay? I don't want to be, or nor do I want to be a part of, nor do I want to see other businesses that are struggling to stay open because they've made commitments, they have obligations. Sometimes you have to tell yourself the truth. The truth is sometimes on the wall, right? We're not going to throw something and stick and see if it sticks or anything like that. Sometimes the truth is on the wall. It doesn't make you a failure. It means that you need to reassess. And now that I no longer have Larry, it was a huge shift that we have to make, because I don't have that muscle anymore. I don't have that person that can do the heavy lifting, that can pick up 200 pounds of potatoes, 50 gallons of oil, and, doing the oil change and all these wonderful things that he did to support us and help us run our business. I already need to get my hair done. I'm not trying to be that person. I still like being a lady. I still like doing the softer things, the things that allows me to use my brain and my mouth, right? And my hands in a way that I can create my product and serve my customers. I don't want to do the heavy lifting. And I'm very, very clear about that. So we're reassessing our our position and where we are now. We're doing private events, like we have a teachers appreciation lunch on May 2nd at Achievement First in Brooklyn, and we're going to their locations. We're going back to our origins, a pop-up. We're getting a customized tent where you can see us from afar. You'll still see the beautiful sassy logo of Miss Buds. You're still going to get the wonderful service that you get, the wonderful food that you get from Miss Buds. And we're going to be back in business. We're just taking it back, reassessing, just making some changes. And these are the things that businesses need to consider if they want to maintain their title of being a business owner, of being an entrepreneur. It's not the end all be all. It's not the end of the world. It's just an adjustment. So the way we're looking at it today is that it's a setback for the comeback. And we're excited.
Hey, we wasn't supposed to quite go there yet. That's
sorry.
For the end.
Sorry.
That's bigger. That's way bigger than it just landed. That's heavy. But we're gonna lead into that a little bit more.
Sure.
So while you were sharing, something came up for me, and it's like, I don't know, for people that are like sleepy movie watchers, when I could remember when like I was able to, VCR ever, when we got VCRs and we were able to stop a movie.
Yeah.
Because I'm always the kid that fell asleep, and the adult, I'm still the adult today, that falls asleep on a movie.
Sure.
So what I think about it is before that time, that movie was gone. Like I had no value of it. That time frame where I was like pushing through, head nodding, it served me no purpose. But once VCRs came along, and I was able to be in that moment, it's like, you know what? Pause.
Yeah.
Go to sleep. Wake up tomorrow, girl. Put that movie back on and complete it. Carry it out through completion. And I know that's a way far off analogy, but that's really what came up for me in that time frame, just being like grateful to be able to press the pause button sometimes and seeing the value in being able to press the pause button. And I think that we live in a society that sets us up to believe so many things that are untrue, so many things that are made up based on other people's judgments and their ideas of what should be. And life is just not that simple. It's not as simple as somebody else's idea and them assuming who we are, putting any kind of idea on us. We really have to understand as individuals that it's our journey.
Absolutely.
And that there is value sometimes in stopping, pausing, putting a it's a lot of different names for it, putting a push pin in it, a lot of different names that you can say that you're basically taking a break to reevaluate and come back stronger is what I hear your share.
Absolutely.
So what would you say while you were in that process? I know you had, first of all, I want to honor Larry as well, because I have experienced the muscle, and when I heard, it was very heartbreaking, not just for Mrs. Spuds, but just for the world, because he was one of those lights, one of those men, that manly man, and when you came around that truck, he made sure that everything was okay. So it's really hard for me to envision the truck without both the muscle and the hustle. And I know that he's going to guide you and support you from above and make sure that you are given something that if it's not muscle, it will be exactly what you need. I trust that. I trust that in the magic that you guys created together. I'm sure so many people. I mean, like, first of all, that clear bubble tent with those colorful tables. If I could show you, and it's so crazy. I don't think I've ever even connected this until right now that I have you here. I'm gonna send you a picture later. The table that my iPad is on right now, and that I use in my healing space, reminds me very much of your tables.
Okay.
I just don't have the chair to match. I have a velvet.
You don't have any holes to hold your ice.
No.
Your fried cones.
It's not as it's not as specific, but the aesthetic definitely gives me that vibe. I mean, it takes me there, and like I said again, that clear bubble tent and being able to sit down and commune right outside of a food truck was an experience that I had never had and still have not had. So I
love that.
to what is reimagined.
Yeah.
Because what the inception was amazing. So I can only imagine you stepping back and assessing and coming forward. But what would you say was the biggest, the hardest thing to actually like make that decision? Because I'm sure that people were probably like, don't close. No, you can maybe try this or do this. Maybe hire somebody else. If you could find more muscle. Like, what was it that was the moment that you said, no, this is what we're going to do, and I'm okay with it?
Yeah, what came to me was exactly that. When I shared with people what we were going to do, that we were going to be closing, it was like, no, I even had one of my customers who came to work with me. She was like, you will not be closing. What can I do? A shout out piece. I love you. Thank you so much for all of your support. Beautiful young lady who patronized us often in the Bedside area, who became one of my best employees. Like, she just wanted to eat for free, you know? And she wanted to make sure that Miss Spud stayed open. But the reality was it just wasn't doing what I needed it to do. I wasn't getting the help that I needed to get. So with all of the pushback and the loving pushback, right, and support to stay open, I had to resolve with no. That when you say no and mean no, it's not a no because I'm rejecting what you're saying. It's a no because I have to trust what I'm saying. Right? What my plan and what my idea and what my purpose is and what my situation is now, it is very, very personal. They don't see people, the people on the outside don't see all of the intricate details that we deal with on the inside, in the back room. You know what I mean? Behind the desk, on the telephone, behind the computers. It's a lot. And it's as easy, and I don't think people take us for granted and think that having a food truck and stuff like that is easy. I don't think that, but it's not as easy just to, to serve you. So we had to, I had to stick with my no, because everything. Let me tell you something. Look at this. What's the temperature outside? It is 80 something degrees in New York, and it's early spring. We hardly had a winter. And remember, what did I say? We were going to close for the seasonal, right? Because of winter. It's harder to work, on a food truck during the winter. Girl, we could have killed. Beautiful, beautiful winter, but I had to stick to the no. I had to stick to the plan. Sticking to the plan, and and that with a loving no to people was probably the hardest.
Got that. I heard two things came up for me just now, and I'll start with the last one. And the last one is that sometimes we push through, and while you could have killed it now, the leaks, when you have the leaks and things are not as easy, like you said, injury. So right now you might be sitting there and you're back. Like, who is going to do those 50? Like, I've been in the service industry for almost 30 years now. And I know, like, we always come with the requirement of being able to lift 35 pounds. For about the last 10 years, I've been limit of don't ask me to lift more than 35 pounds. Okay. And I really don't want to do that. That's where I'm going to pay for it. In these areas.
Yes, of course.
In that lower back area, in the knees, you pay for it. So while, just wanting to point out to the ones of those out there who may not understand, hear the clearness in this conversation and may still have any fogginess, we can make money, we can do well, but we're always looking at long term.
Right.
For most of us who show up in this lunch and learn space, we are concerned with building legacy. We're not looking to just make money today.
That's right.
And Pippi might have killed it in these months, and it might have taken care of some bills. Without that muscle over time, there might have been a breakage to the point of where now that money is now going to something else, that it's not going to profit. It's not going to return and going to being poured back into the business. So sometimes when we think we're doing so well, because I've been in this space in life, just not even from being an entrepreneur, entrepreneur, just from having bulks of maybe working at a restaurant or working at a bar that is doing really, really well. You're making that money during that time. You do everything for yourself in that time, and then now you're working somewhere that's a little slower. Or you're in a phase of the food truck that's in a slower phase, and now you made that bulk of money. Sometimes, just doing this is a lot better than doing this.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. That's not the experience I wanted to have, because when you already had the highs and lows in the food truck industry with the seasons, right? And I didn't want to be the cause of that, right? Because I didn't stick to my plan. So everything you're saying is exactly what has happened, right? With his loss, his absence, just put extra work on us, that some of us are injured, having some long-term physical issues, and it's not fair. That is not the life I want to live. When I think about Miss Fuzz, I already have a vision in my head, what it needs to look like, what it needs to relay, and how people need to walk away. That means my customers, my employees, my accountant, everybody needs to walk away happy from Miss Spuds, because Miss Spuds is the happiest place in America, period. And that is my vision. I don't want it to cause heartache. I don't want it to cause pain. I don't want it to cause stress. That is not what we do. We are a happy place, And in order to keep that thought, that plan, that vision alive, we simply need to reassess. And when we come back, it's going to be big. It's going to be great. It's going to be everything that I wanted it to be. And I'm excited. We are literally, everybody's on a healing journey. Me physically reassessing. My body hasn't been more relaxed. I can't tell you. I don't even know what to do with myself on the weekends, because we're normally on the truck. We're normally busy. I'm like walking around the house. I'm like, okay, I need to be somewhere doing something, somewhere outdoors. And, and the truth is, God is like, sit down, have a seat, sit down for a minute. Okay. And yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, but I'm like, and Z from our community just popped in, and it really, as she wrote that, what I received was that it's also an honoring to allow Larry's transition, to everyone to heal, like you said, because truck, you are not lying there. I came into Pippi's life while she was literally in the process of getting the truck. It was like still where it was being wrapped, and had the idea of the vision, so she would share the pictures with us on our board meetings and things like that. But seeing it get delivered, be unwrapped, and then actually get to work, all during COVID, during a time where so many of us were frozen. Like, while I hear you say you took this and ran, there were so many people during COVID that were afraid to take chances and start new during a time when we had no idea what was to come.
Yeah.
The excitement and the joy that came from that green color, the woman potato with these little legs and heels and her makeup, and like, then to actually taste the potatoes and the different dipping sauces, and like, listen, this truck was a whole experience. Like, it wasn't like you just go up. And I know some amazing food trucks where it's like you just want to get that food. Like, you just want to get the food and knock people out when you're getting away from the line because you just want to eat the food. This truck was more than that. It was like, while it created, I had conversations on those lines while I was waiting for food and connected with people. Like, it had a whole energy that I had never experienced on a food truck before. Any other time in a food truck line, like I said, I might talk to the person with me, or I might have some conversation, but yours was more about, everybody knew about this dream, and when you get there, you had the energy of talking about the dream, and the energy of the sauces, and the fact that they're one of them is your grandma's recipe, and it's just like, it had a lot that gives you full experience. And that's right, lie, babe.
What are you doing?
Because that it deserves it. She deserves it. That truck, what you did, what you and Larry created together was amazing. So I could only imagine stepping back and you're assessing and allowing his spirit to support you and you giving back to your body. Because I also know that athlete in you was also being an athlete at the same time that you were doing this truck. So you were like doing everything. So you deserve applause to be able to really come back and do this thing the way that I know you will. It's an amazing thing to be in your presence. At the top, you said that you're a lot, and that a high vibrational a lot. You are a lot of fun. You are a lot of inspiration. You are a lot of just being a solid dope ass. Yes, I'm gonna go there. Person today, dope ass individual, and a woman at that.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You just reminded me that during the pandemic, I was so I guess I was vibrating high then, because when the pandemic hit, and Larry and I looked at one another like, are we really about to do this? We don't know what is about to happen in the world. But that was really answering the question is what we should do. And my thing was, God's got us, right? If the virus or whatever hasn't affected us yet, keep moving. Keep moving forward with your plan, right? And you walk in faith. And this is exactly what we're doing again. I'm walking in faith. I'm trusting that we're going to come back. We're going to come back big. And I appreciate more than anything what has me verklempt right now, is, is that everything that you just said is indicative to why I do Miss Spuds. It is all of that you actually get it. It's not just about the food. It's not about the food. It's about feeding you, feeding your soul, creating relationships, building relationships, and for people just to connect. I love to see when people just hang around the truck, and they will literally hang around the truck and eat the food and come back and tell us how great it was. It was the best thing they ever had. And then they leave. And I'm like, you were sitting there this whole time just eating. And yeah, I couldn't wait. It just smelled so good. And this and that. It just speaks to my soul, and it just reinforces and reaffirms that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Service is my love, is my language. And I don't mind serving people. I don't mind serving them what I love and being compensated for it as well. So, so I thank you. I thank you for saying that, for sharing and being open and sharing your heart about your experience with Miss Spuds. Like, you absolutely get it. And because you got it, it again reinforces that I'm doing the right thing, and I'm going to continue because I want everybody to feel and have the same Miss Spuds experience. It is an experience. It's an experience, and I want you all to have it.
I love that. I love that. And I'm like, I can only imagine once it's like, if storefront is where you're going, I'm like, oh gosh, she's about to sit down and come up with different experiences and different areas. I can only imagine the whole vibe that's going to be in that space and place. So
you have no
idea. I want us to share that saying now. That saying, because so just being transparent with you guys. Pippi likes to act like she don't got this in the bag, and she called me the other day. Yep, I'm telling on you. She called me the other day and she said, I'm scared. What are we going to talk about? What? Girl, you offer so much. First of all, the fact that you are heart.
You're breaking up a little. I'm sorry, honey.
Oh, all right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Being that you're a heart-driven person, like everything that you do drives from the heart, I don't think that there's ever a reason for you to be fearful. And it's something that I wrote down before we go into that saying that we actually landed on that hit, like it, she said it and it went to my gut. And I was like, yes, we have to share that with the community. And it's like such a statement form. But also from what you were just sharing, I had a huge takeaway for myself. And what it was is that if whatever the chaos that's going on in the world around you is not actually affecting and impacting you directly, keep doing whatever it is that you were doing. Don't stop because things may seem a little chaotic, confusing, scary, all of the other feelings that came with that time frame. Because I'll share with you, I really was in the process of getting ready to move to Atlanta, and I only got here in the summer of 2021 because of that. I was one that I created a story that I had to stay close to my family. I had to be here. Meanwhile, all of my family that I was near in New York is all fine. Those are family members that I lost. I lost the elders.
Yeah.
And I still could have made that move and been okay.
Yeah.
But it's what it is, and everything we learn, we live and we learn. So I give myself grace for doing that. But through you, I get to learn that I could have done that a little differently, and many other people, because there were a lot of people that picked up and moved, so that looked a little different than actually starting a business. But it gives me that same energy.
Yeah, it's really not to interrupt you, but to interrupt you. It's simply the same thing, right? It's really about stepping out on faith, right? When we're going into something or walking away from something that we're unfamiliar with, uncharted territory, right? But we want to go out there in the forest anyway, right? You can't see the forest for the trees, right? You got to go through anyway, right? If nothing is holding you back, right? Which is doubt talk, self-talking yourself out of a situation, people making excuses for you, you making excuses for yourself. These are the strings, these are the invisible strings that keep us from moving forward, right? But if God said, go forth, right? If he's going to take care of babies and fools, which one you going to be? Right? I'm going to be the baby fool.
I was just about to say
about me.
In that moment, I'm gonna be both, because I'm gonna be a baby in this state and a fool for having this going. But
okay.
Still look at it like that, because 2020 is technically still in a pandemic.
I can't be still. I can't be still.
Shucks.
I can't be still.
Actually, I'm really recognizing and want to thank you in this moment because, like I just said, 2021, when I got here, we were still technically in the pandemic, and because I met people like you, because I saw you do what you did, because I experienced that unwrapping of that truck. I remember June 19th. I couldn't wait until July 9th when I packed my car, that first trip in heading down.
I remember this.
And just come find a place. I was just coming to stay with a friend for a week and see what happens. And it's been no turning back since then.
And I was the funny thing is, unbeknownst to you, I was really excited for you. I was like, take it by the horns. I was like, go, right? This is what happens with us in life. Life starts happening when we start moving, when we start living. Okay, just because mommy and daddy created a space for us to grow and taught us about our morals and values and gave us some direction, ultimately, when you become responsible for your life, you are responsible for your life. The directions that you go in, if you're going to open or if you're going to close, you have to be satisfied. You have to be able to live without any regrets, without any stress. I had one child because I didn't want the responsibility of a bunch of them. Okay, I don't have the mental capacity. Okay.
Wait, look. On that note, let me share a little joke that I tell my coworkers so I work at an arena, right? And I'm kind of like a bar lead, so I'm in charge of a bar. So I had a nice little intimate bar that was just me and one other bartender to manage. Now they have me at a bar where it's me and 5 other bartenders. So one day I just told my boss, I said, listen, it's a reason God has me being a mother of one and not a single mother of one and not a single mother of 5. I don't want these 5 babies. Can you transfer me to another bar as soon as possible?
See, you're not crazy. You're not crazy. We know what we're capable of, right? And we have the strength. We have the know-how, right? We have the equipment. And I have and the most important thing, as I was writing out my plan, because I'm also in a program that's assisting me, mind you, with our temporary close to relaunch, okay? Writing out my plan, I had to gather, I think I lost my train of thought real quick. Hold on a second. Writing out my plan, figuring out who I am, right? What is it that I want? And I had the know-how, I had the plan. The fact that I had the experience, I got it, it's coming back, it's back here. The fact that I had the experience of a food truck already, right? Honey, this plan was just flowing. The plan is flowing. They don't know what my next steps are, but when I started adding to it, how we're going to expand, what our marketing and advertising campaign is going to be, all the things that we didn't do before. I already know what I didn't do. So I know what I want to do, what I need to do now, right? You learn from your experiences, and I'm excited about it, right? Trust yourself. And that's the other thing. More than anything, I love the fact my adulting right now is that I'm trusting myself. I'm trusting what I know. I'm trusting my voice, because everything has worked out for me. I know what's right for me. I know what's right for my daughter, but she's a grown up now. She has to trust her voice, and just don't shame the family.
Don't put that one on her. Don't put that one on her. Don't put that one on her. I've that for so long. The not wanting to shame the family. Shaming the family had me not wanting to try tarot cards. And I know that there's mixed emotions out in the community.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're like any other tool in this world. They're like the Bible. The Bible can be used for good.
Right.
It can be used for bad. Anything in life can be used for good and bad. But if you know me, to know me is to love me. You know that I am really Pippi, that I operate from a heart-centered space as well. So
That's
even
what matters.
through the cards, I am to God. I am speaking to the ancestors. I am always asking them to use me. I'm not reading a card out from ego, from a place of judgment. It's being used as a conduit, and from not wanting to shame the family, the story that I had in my head.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. Just be clear on what shaming the family is.
Yeah.
Family
I'm very clear. I'm very clear. I'm very clear about that. That's a whole other conversation we can have. And you know what? Here's the funny thing.
So Chelsea, no OnlyFans, Chelsea. No OnlyFans, okay?
I mean, it depends on the dollar. No, I'm kidding.
Maybe, look, let me stop. I was going to say, Athenia's going to get me. I
know, she's coming for both of us.
Like, I'm like, we're about to start cutting up like only we do over in this space.
No, I was really about to say, I was really about to say that we need to have a round table for like our last lunch and learn, because there's so much that we can speak about when it comes to business, relationship, spirituality, tarot cards, and to piggyback off of that. When you speak to someone with that and they come back to you talking about devilment and all that kind of stuff, don't feel no guilt about it. Just share your information, the education about it, and carry on and let them know what the next card is for them. Okay. And just carry on. But I love having a conversation with like-minded women, sharing our experiences, right? Because we are surrounded by phenomenal women. And not that I couldn't do what I do without them. I just enjoy doing it with them. I love having, that kinship, that girlfriendship. It's fun locking arms with girls and just carrying on and, having that support system. So I may be afraid sometimes. I think I'm more afraid because I'm a chatterbox and I don't want to say anything wrong. I'm minding my words and trying to stay focused. And that's part of my fear. But I thank you for the conversation. I hope I did well today. I hope that someone learned something from our conversation. The most important thing is sometimes you have to step back, right? Sometimes you have to step back to move forward. And you have to step back and determine what it is that you want. Do you want to be free? Do you want to be free of stress, free of problems, free of judgment, free of anything? And you want to move forward with freedom. Sometimes you have to step back, pull it back a little bit. It's not the end all be all. It's not a close. It's a setback for the comeback.
And that is it. I love that. I love that intuitively you feel me, because I didn't even have to wrap that up and to put that exactly. Can you put a what you call that? An exclamation mark at the end of a setback for the comeback, please?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a setback for the comeback, baby. Come on. For the comeback, yes.
The comeback. I love that.
Yes.
And I think you need to make some t-shirts that say that.
I'm using this video as a poor man's copyright for my hashtags. Set that comeback. Don't nobody better try it.
I love it.
Thank you.
Before you go today, all of your information is being dropped in the chat for those of you out there who may have any. So you could be looking for her to cater for you. You could be looking to ask questions if you are just an entrepreneur or food. She's definitely a huge advocate for food truck vendors. She tries to secure them she looks out for them during the whole entire Juneteenth process. She
Absolutely.
is food vendor truck mama of this outfit that we have here.
Yeah.
So if maybe you have questions, if maybe you just want to consult, or look, now I'm turning you into a consultant. Anything, her information is right there. You can reach out, you can find her, support her, follow her, show up for her when she is back on and popping. And follow her in the middle too. And before you leave today, sis, can you please tell us what Juneteenth means to you?
Oh, Juneteenth is everything to me. More than anything, in my heart, not just my ancestors, just elders, period. When I think of elders, I'm thinking of my ancestors and what they have gone through. So even with Miss Spuds, I can't quit. I can't close because they went through so much for me to have the freedom and the opportunity to do the things that I do. I have swam the Atlantic Ocean. I have swam the Hudson River. I have run around the world. I have done all these things because of what they have gone through to allow me the freedoms to be phenomenal, simply phenomenal. And Juneteenth, I want to celebrate that. I want to be excited about it. I want to support other Black businesses. I want the world to know who we are and whom we are.
Ashe, I love that, sis. Thank you so much for being with us today. And I will, if you would like, because we are still working on the new structure over here. If you'd like to pull a card, I don't have them with me, but we could definitely set a time that we could get on the phone.
You're not going to have the cards when I'm on. This is unfair. Could you go find your cards? We have a few minutes. Go find your cards.
Okay, so how about, I just don't have my favorite cards next to me, but I do have something that I can go with right now.
I want the ones that have been worked on, that have some, some seasoning.
Tisha, can you play a commercial for a second? Bear with us, folks. Give us one moment. And I'm actually going to... Greetings, and good afternoon, Juneteenth family. Welcome to another weekly edition of our Lunch and Learn.
E is exhaling, having an opportunity to breathe, to rest, to refill yourself and rejuvenate yourself, because no one can pour from an empty cup.
As you evolve and become more of yourself, you begin to attract the people that are there for you.
Amen.
So everything you need is in this space.
You have to learn from your mistakes. Once you make a mistake, sit down, recoup, and then start over. And once you do that, you say, I got that.
See, Juneteenth means to me, I would definitely say empowerment and education.
When I experience it, it's like just coming together and, being a part of something bigger than myself, and
A new start, starting a new chapter, opportunity, new beginnings, all of that good stuff.
All right, all right, all right. I am back. You know how I love you, how I know I love you, Pippi?
Wow.
And I love this show, and I just love what I do, and I just love life right now. It's raining outside. I was like, oh, and I traveled this weekend, so the cards were in the car, but I was like, my son's like, it's raining outside. You want the umbrella? Yeah, I was like, so since I moved to Atlanta, I don't use umbrellas anymore.
Enjoy the rain. Enjoy the rain.
Felt so good just now. It felt amazing.
Yeah. It's so funny. They're annoyed with me at school because when there's puddles at school, I'm like, run in the puddle. Run. They're like, stop telling the kids to run in the It's the only time they're gonna be a kid.
You have these parents lined up talking about, so what happened to my baby shoes?
I just bought them shoes.
All right, my love, give me 1 second.
Okay.
And I'm going to be and let me know when you'd like me to stop shuffling the cards.
Stop.
Okay. And about where in the deck would you like me to put?
Wherever your left forefinger is, that one.
It's where is about in here. So it is the card number 23. Her name is Medusa, and she is rage.
It's about to go down.
Look at those moons around her. So I just want you to get a good look at her image and what's going on there.
Interesting.
All right. So the number 23, that's Michael Jordan's number. And his movie Air just came out. And we'll see how that's going to do. It's interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what his influence was on Nike. That's what the movie's supposed to be.
That might be my match for me to watch.
Yeah. All right. So Medusa, the shadow of rage. She's from Libya. The temple of the shadows, the element of fire. Medusa is feared as an ugly, vicious monster bitch. The truth? This Libyan Berber dark goddess of wisdom's rage is sacred, epic, and fully justified. Medusa's shadow guidance. You are pissed off and petrified, angry and shaky. But underneath that, you are hurt and heartbroken. Feeling undervalued is overwhelming. You can't stay silent anymore. Let your joys, hopes, and beauty rage on. The embodiment. Take a breath. Close your eyes and put both hands over your lower abdomen. Tune into the part of you that feels out of control. Flood it with loving, healing, golden light. Now put both hands over your heart and do the same. You have a right to your full range of emotions, including anger. Sacred rages inspires us to run for office, lead protests, and shift policies. But unhealthy rage can devour your very soul. Get clear on what is really happening. Allow yourself to feel your feelings to see the truth. Just because you feel threatened does not mean you are being threatened. And your declaration is, I have a right to feel my feelings.
Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe.
I receive that.
I know something comes up for me that I'm sure that you probably encountered and probably looked at for yourself, just knowing how you are and knowing that you're a full feeling individual. if you were a person that stuffed things down, I would be concerned a little bit about this part, and I would probably want us to talk a little more. But because I know some of the things that I know about the journey, I'm sure that there's some anger in there for somewhere. And it's hard to be angry with people when they're no longer here with us. When we're told that all we can do is honor them and just be grateful and thankful. And sometimes you really also want to gut punch them too.
Yeah.
And we're not, as human beings, we're not given that full range of feelings when we lose someone, we're made to feel guilty and to feel shame around those feelings. And it's important to honor every feeling that you've had, especially for you to go in very clearly and solidly into this next phase. And plus, I'm sure that he's okay with you being a little upset with him. I saw that man. That man was all right. He'd handle it. He's holding himself accountable. So, all of those ranges of all of it is so important to us, and our journey and the healing for you, Pippi, and the healing for Mrs. Spuds, and the healing for anybody who knows and loves and touched you guys.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Girl, you are so in tune. You're really in tune, because I'm listening with the reading, and I was associating it with something totally different, right? And it still applies. But you're very, very right when it comes to him, right? I don't want to sound as if I don't appreciate him. I don't want to feel any guilt. So I've been working through that emotional part of it, and I've come to terms. I truly, truly have come to terms. And the bigger thing that I've received from it was that without him, with everything that happened, without him, I wouldn't have had the full-on experience of having Miss Spuds as an absolute business. Like, I paid New York State taxes, okay? I created jobs, I wasn't doing it by myself any longer. Like, thousands of people know me, and this was partly because of him. It came with some bumps and bruises, but this is life. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for his presence, his participation, everything he lent to us. I can now run and do what I need to do full on. Thank you. Thank you for that, Ashe.
Ashe.
And rest in peace, Larry. Rest in peace. We love you.
Yes, sir. We sure did.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us. I look forward to seeing you at Juneteenth, and everyone at Juneteenth. Support Black-owned food trucks that are out there. Come see us at Juneteenth. Click, share our Juneteenth Lunch and Learn page. Why am I doing your job? I'm sorry.
It's quite all right. I'm like, it's nice to have support in the cheerleading area. I'll take it. I will take it. Thank you, Pippi. I will see you behind the scenes.
I love you.
Love you more.
And thank you, everyone in the chat. I love you. Thank you so much.
All right, everyone. I hope that everyone had some amazing takeaways. I know I had tons of takeaways for myself today. I hope you guys enjoyed us today. And I do have to say that I have started my lock journey, you guys. I started it last night, and I am still getting used to it. So if you see me doing any weird things with it, that's what's going on. So pay me no mind, please. It's been an honor to host you guys yet again another week. We do not have the information for our upcoming guests for next week, but it will be shared about midweek. You'll get your information, and make sure that you like and subscribe. Like Pippi said, come back. And I hope to see you guys all 3 days of Juneteenth. Looking forward to it. Have a great day, everybody. Greetings, and good afternoon, Juneteenth family. Welcome to another weekly edition of our Lunch and Learn.
E is exhaling, having an opportunity to breathe, to rest, to refill yourself and rejuvenate yourself because no one can pour from an empty cup.
As you evolve and become more of yourself, you begin to attract the people that are there for you.
Amen.
So everything you need is in this space.
You have to learn from your mistakes. Once you make a mistake, oops, sit down, recoup, and then start over. And once you do that, you say, I got that.
See, Juneteenth means to me, I would definitely say empowerment and education.
When I experience it, it's like just coming together and, being a part of something bigger than myself, And
A new start, starting a new chapter, opportunity, new beginnings, all of that good stuff.